Happy Monday, everyone. We are talking about my 3 top ways to communicate with your team in today's video. I'm Gail Bates, CEO of MyMentorBiz.com, and I help leaders grow million-dollar teams. And today, every Monday, I do the Monday Minute Team Building Tip because I believe as a leader, growing your leadership skills in building your team is so important because it's what I did to build my own million-dollar team, and it's what I do in my coaching program today in helping leaders around the world have strong and successful teams. So if you're new here today, I do want you to subscribe, hit the subscribe button and that little bell, because every week I leave a tip on how to grow your team, and you're learning leadership skills that I call team building. Okay, so you don't want to miss one message. Make sure you subscribe. So it's September, and your team is really moving along. They've got bookings on the calendar. They're selling. In fact, we're getting towards the end of September, so you should be having a thriving business right now because this is the beginning of the season, the busy season, okay? But they have new products, and people are loving the new products, and they're holding parties. And I know many of my people in my coaching programs, they're sharing their successes with me right now. But you also, as a leader, want to make sure that you are giving your team the support, the guidance, and the love that they need to keep growing in this wonderful business of direct sales. So what I've been sharing with you over the past 3 weeks is my top 3 ways to communicate with your team. So in the first video, and you can go back on my YouTube channel and watch that, how to communicate with your team weekly, I give you a specific way that really works. I share this with all my coaching clients on creating a weekly communication with your team. It sets you up when you're consistent and sending out this communication every week. Your team knows you are there for them. The second video, if you go back and watch that, I talked about how to communicate with your team daily in a team Facebook group. And what this does, it helps you give your team reminders and new announcements. And you post, I actually gave you some specific ideas on how to post around booking, selling, and recruiting that you can use in your team Facebook group to communicate with your team every day. Today, we're talking about communicating with your team at large. Okay, so what does that mean at large? And by that, I mean being intentional about communicating with specific people in your team who really need your support. Now, I do have a little exercise that I work with my private coaching clients on how to ascertain in your team 3 different groups. And so if you're interested in any private coaching, then you just need to message me and we can have a 30-minute complimentary session. But today I want to share with you how to have a coaching conversation with those people on your team who really want more, who really want to move up the ladder of success. So it's basically 3 questions. And I would really recommend that you write these down because this is like gold. This is so valuable for you to understand in communicating with those people on your team who truly are looking for success. So the first question you always want to start off with is asking them, what's working? Tell me about what's working in your business. When they share with you what's working in their business, they're sharing a success. They feel good about it. And you're able to praise and recognize that success. So it makes them feel good. So the next question you want to move to is, well, what would you have done differently? So, usually when you ask people about, and sometimes even when I ask them what's working, they tell me something negative. So that's where they want to go first. But when you already asked them for something positive, and then you go to what would you have done differently, that gives them time to really assess how they would have done something a little differently. And maybe it's something they could have done or would have done or should have done. And they're sharing that with you. And it really sets things up for you to see what they need in supporting them to be successful and move up the ladder, right? So you listen to what they would have done differently. And by now they're sharing with you something they wish they'd done or something that they could have done. So now it's your turn to be able to coach them, to give them some pointers. And that's when you don't jump in there and say, you should have done this and you should have done that. You're basically going to ask the third question. And the third question is, may I make a suggestion? When you ask that question, they're all alert. Their eyes are open up, their ears are listening. They're ready to receive that coaching from you, that information from you that is really vitally important to their success. So write these down, okay? What's working, okay? What would you have done differently? And may I make a suggestion? So I hope that's been helpful. So your call to action today is, I want you to look in at your team, see who needs your support, okay? Who needs that guidance right now and it's up to you to reach out to them to set up a coaching conversation with them so you can go through these 3 questions. And then I want you to go to my website. Make sure you download my freebie next week. I have a very exciting new online course that's coming out that you're really going to love on how to fast start your business builders. So make sure you come back here next week because I'll be sharing some information about that. And of course, below is a free handout for you as well on how to help your team members have that new product launch. Because if they haven't started that yet, it's time for you to really get in there and help them do that. Have a great Monday, everyone.